and welcome back to the United Stand. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1, but Manchester United won 4-3 on penalties. We're in America, that means United win. No, but in all seriousness, it is pre-season. I know I was saying in my pre-match thoughts and my road trip video that I was thinking, you know, we need to see something here. We need to see the way we're going to play football. And despite the fact we did technically lose in the 90 minutes, I do think we saw glimpses before everything started to fall apart. Injuries, so unfortunate. Rasmus Hojlund wearing the number 9 shirt, an iconic number, started off looking so sharp. That run in behind and then finished through the goalkeeper's legs. It was absolutely excellent. And you thought, you know what, he's going to go on and he's going to do more here. I think Wan-Bissaka crossed it in and he nearly got on the end of it. Looked like a proper striker out there. And then straight after that, got injured, and looked like he was holding his hamstring. And we were just speaking to Johnny Evans in the mix zone. He said he thought it might be his hamstring for Rasmus Hojlund. So that's absolutely gutting, because I think Rasmus Hojlund's got an absolutely huge season ahead of him. Hamstring injuries can sometimes be a little bit worrying. I'm praying and I'm hoping that Rasmus is going to be okay, because that competition with Xerxes, I think he's going to relish. I think he's going to take on that competition in his stride, and I think you're going to see the best out of Rasmus Hojlund. He looked really sharp. I know it's pre-season, but he really did just come off the back of obviously playing in the tournament for Denmark. So been on his holidays back. Such a shame about the injury, but started really brightly. And what I would say about this game is, I really feel like it gave a really good indicator to Manchester United board and the people behind the scenes that are making these decisions of who is going to be part of the future, who's ready to step up and be part of the future, who maybe needs a little bit more time but they're young and they can progress as part of the future, but who needs to be moved on. Who's not got a future at Manchester United at an elite level? I think it really did show it, and I'm going to say some names in a little bit as well. I'm going to talk about the positives and a few negatives, but I really do think it was an indication. And talking about an indication, there was an indication there that we need to continue in this transfer market to be aggressive and to try and be on the front foot. I know a lot is depending on outgoings. We have an interview with Melissa Reddy coming very shortly, where she was speaking about the domino effect of the transfer window and how Manchester United want to do more, but we also need to do some player sales as well. And Lenny Yoro looked promising, made a mistake early doors but made up for it with an excellent tackle, has so much promise, but unfortunately was limping off the pitch as well quite early doors. That is worrying for Manchester United. He also didn't take part of the training session yesterday. That is worrying, because you look, you know, Yoro, say if he gets injured and Martinez gets injured, what have you got left? I mean, I think Harry Maguire has a purpose, and I think in both boxes he can be threatening. You know, defensively, his head is like a ball magnet. I've said it so many times. When you're defending a lead, he can really help you out with his distinctive sort of style of defending. Going forward, he can be a target man to help you get a goal, but playing every single game, well, not every single game, but playing a lot of games across the Premier League season, it's not the level you want to be going for, in my personal opinion. I think he could be a good squad player if that's what he wants to be, but someone who's going to be playing in the first team when we get injuries consistently, despite having such a good season last season, I just think we should be aspiring to push a little bit further, but not just that as well. Like, there's other players that you feel like you're a good player, you could be really successful within the Premier League and you've got attributes, but are you going to be a starter at an absolutely top level side, which is what we're trying to build up to and trying to get to? I mean, you could say that for a lot of players, to be fair, but there is some players there where you think, yes, you have got a future and we can build with you. So that's interesting to see. And if I was Manchester United and I saw the Yoro injury and I seen like, oh, you know what, here we go again, deja vu, survival of the fittest, and I'd seen that, I would be like, you know what, we really do need to push to sign De Ligt, because we know we've agreed personal terms with De Ligt. We know that's an option for Manchester United that they really want. I feel like today should be a wake-up call to go and sign De Ligt, because we need depth. We cannot just have an excellent first team and then as soon as there's an injury there's a big drop off. We need excellence across the board. We need depth. Eric Ten Hag said it himself, we need reinforcements in every position. We need to be the best in every position. He's happy with a lot of his squad, but he absolutely wants to sign more players, and so he should. And I think Manchester United really need to try and work on a way to try and get some outgoings moving so they can bring players in, because I think getting another centre-back in today really showed how important that's going to be next season. Another really bright spark for me was Harry Armas. I thought he had an excellent first half cameo. I mean, his technical ability on the ball is absolutely fantastic. He's 17 years old. He was taking it in his stride. He was, you know, like taking the ball on. skilling people left, right and centre. He looked excellent, and I thought he'd provide that balance on the left side for Marcus Rashford as well, which he's sorely been missing. So Harry Armas at 17 looks like a really bright talent. You've also got Mason Mount, who for me was man of the match actually from his first half performance. I think he's silently doing really well in this pre-season, and I'm excited to see more of him, and he could give Erik ten Hag a headache, because you'd think next season Erik ten Hag's midfield is going to be Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, and hopefully a new signing, because I'll talk about Casemiro in a second. But Mason Mount's going to put a cat amongst the pigeons if he keeps going the way he is. I get it's pre-season, but this is where you try and stake a claim for the first team. You can only do your best, and Mason Mount's looking really sharp, and he put in some really good passes today into the box. He was linking up well in the midfield. I get it was quite a weak Arsenal midfield to begin with, but I thought he really shone in there, and someone who I think looks like he's doing really well, got great energy, got great work rate. So I'm excited to see him more across the pre-season tour as well. Who were other bright sparks? I thought Ahmad looked good again. Anyone else? Toby Collier putting some great challenges there into the midfield. He looked good. So there is some promising performances to go off. There is some players though where you think, you know what, it probably is time to try and move them on now. I mean, I saw Casemiro in open training yesterday. He looked fit, he looked sharp. I think there was a clip of him like going in really hard on a challenge in training, which, you know what, he's one of the senior members of the squad. Like, he's going to be a leader in there, and obviously he's going to take things seriously. But Casemiro, for me, again, so many sloppy passes in the midfield. We can't afford to carry players that are going to be sloppy next season. We can't afford 6 out of 10 performances. We need players to be on point all of the time. And for me, it's not just one game for Casemiro. It's not just a bad 45 minutes. It's consistent sloppiness. I mean, he's not the only one who does it, but he is highlighted so much, especially in the first half. And I think it was like the first 20 minutes where Man United looked like the better team. They were pinging it about. It was quick football. We looked like we were in the flow. The chemistry looked good. It looked like we were showing the patterns of play that we'd worked on. But a lot of the time, Casemiro stood out because the ball would come to him and suddenly we'd lost it because it would be a sloppy pass. So Casemiro is someone who Manchester United really should be looking to get a move away from Manchester United this summer in order to bring in another midfielder who can slot next to Kobbie Mainoo and really take us up another gear and take us up another level. So that's something that I would keep an eye on. Again, Scott McTominay, good player, not a great player. Definitely a leader. I could see that in open training. Definitely a leader within that dressing room. He seems like one of the alpha characters in there. With Fulham knocking on the door, is that a conversation you have where you think, can we make an improvement on this? Christian Eriksen as well. We know technically with the ball at his feet, he's such a top player, slotted his penalty really nicely. And, some nice passes in there. But overall, as a player that's going to play at the top level next season, I don't think he's got it in him personally. So there is some players there that I'd be evaluating and think, I think it's obvious now who we need to move on and who's part of the future. I think Ethan Wheatley looks promising. A shame that he missed his penalty, but I think it's just a little bit of pressure, quite a full stadium here. I think there was over 60,000 people in here today, and it was great for the American fans to, see a sort of Premier League game. But like I said, in the second half, Arsenal made changes to make them stronger. Martinelli, who absolutely ripped open our right side, by the way. I know it's young players playing on that right-hand side, so I don't even want to really talk about it too much because it is young players. And, the learning, it's a pre-season game. Martinelli ripped us a new one, and Havertz as well, who obviously had a tremendous season last season. So we got weaker and they got stronger, hence they went on and won the game 2-1. But we won on penalties, and we know Manchester United are improving in that area. Again, it's only pre-season, but penalties have looked a lot sharper from Manchester United as of late, and Sancho slotted the last one home. Sancho's technically good on the ball. It's just physically, I feel like he needs to become a little bit stronger. Sometimes he gets shoved off the ball a little bit, but technically he's good on the ball. He needs to be physically a lot stronger. But what I liked from Jadon Sancho today is I saw work rate. That's what we need. We need work rate, and we're hearing as well with Jadon Sancho that he's happy to be back and he's been a good member of the squad around the place. That's what I just heard while I was in the mix zone. So a little bit of information for you there. But look, everyone, that's sort of my summary of the game. If I was to sum it up with a sentence, I'd say Manchester United, there is some real promise in what we're doing in terms of the coaching and in terms of the development and in terms of talent that we have for the future and players that we're going to sort of unlock that we didn't really have full access to last season. But there is also players there that need to be moved on. Absolutely, to make room for players that can come in, take us up another level and create a really good quality of depth within the squad, because depth is what wins you stuff. Depth is what takes you to that next level and gets you over the line. Depth creates consistency and a consistent style of play. That's what we need. Last but not least, I just wanted to quickly mention as well, because I thought Hannibal came on. He's someone as well that really needs to be kind of looking for a move away, can play somewhere else and do well. But for Manchester United, he's just not the level, in my opinion. You've got Mount, you've got Bruno kind of playing in his position. He's not going to be a first teamer. It is a drop off in quality. There's players like that you need to kind of start looking like, you can play football, you can have a good career, but it's just not going to be an elite level club. But look, everyone, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit a like on the video. This was your post-match review, and we look forward to all the content coming up for the Betis game. Spanish team, going to be really interesting to see how we play against them, because Man United often struggle against the Spanish team. They have a different sort of style of playing and different attributes, so let's see how we fare against them. But thank you for watching. Have a good one, everyone, and I will see you on the next one.